If you have already enrolled for the Jamb 2026 examination, do not bother writing the examination anymore. If mathematics is one of your Jamb subject combination and you are unable to solve this particular question on the board, okay? Now, this question is on trigonometry, okay? Graphical ways of answering trigonometrical questions, okay? Now, before I attempt it on the board, I want those of you writing the Jamb 2026 examination to go down to the comment section and comment Jamb 2026. As usual, I just want to make sure you're writing the examination so that we can stay connected. Okay, now the question on the board reads: which of the following is a sketch of y equals 2 sine x, where 0 is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to what now? 2 pi, and we're having 4 different graphs on the board. Before I solve this problem for you guys, okay, I want you guys to attempt it. Let's say how we are prepared for the Jamb 2026 examination, okay? So pause the video, answer the question, okay, and drop the correct option in the comment section. I am guessing you guys are done by now. Let's now see the right answer to this question on the board, okay? Now make sure you stick to the end, because at the end, I'm going to analyze the options and tell you guys the easiest way of attempting or getting an answer to a problem like this, okay? Now I'll give you an equation, y equal to 2 sine x, okay? I'm going to assume I don't know anything about the graph. Let's place in values into the place of x and see what we're going to get, okay? Now for the first one, we're going to have at x equals to what now? 0. At x equal to 0, now sine 0 is what now? 0. 0 times 2 is what now? 0. That means y will be equal to what now? 0. Okay, now let's now analyze the graph. For this one, at x is equal to 0, we're having what now? Y as 2, right? If x is 0 here, you can trace it along the axis, okay? Trace it along the axis, here it touches the graph. That's where you get what now? The value of y. So y here is 2. Meanwhile, at x equal to 0, y is 0. So this one is automatically what now? Out of the option. Okay, now let's now check for number 1. For number 1, at x equal to 0, if you trace it up, you get what now? Nothing. Okay, if you trace it down, you get nothing, which means the graph does not cut across the what now? The axis. Okay, but then since it does not touch the upper or bottom part, it means as x equal to 0, y is also at this point. That's equal to 0. Okay, so this one is what now? Good to go. But we're not done yet. Let's check this one. Now for this one, as x equals to 0, if you trace it down, does not touch the graph. Trace it up, does not touch the graph too, right? Which means at x equal to 0, y is equal to 0. That's how it works. Okay, now let me give you a more easier example to understand. Okay, at this point, we're having what now? 180 degrees. Trace it up, does not touch the graph. Trace it down, does not touch the graph. So you trace it back to the origin. That's why at x equal to 180 is also 0. The same analysis I used for x equal to 0. Okay, now the next one we're going to look at is option D. Right now, if you've not seen option D before, this graph indicates what now? The graph of a target. Okay, so this one is already out of it. Okay, whenever you see a graph that has a curve like this, okay, it means it's graph of what now? Tangent. Okay, and this one is already out of it, so no need to even consider this one. We're now left between option A and option B. Now let's check again. Now, how about at x equal to 90 degrees? Okay, x equal to 90 degrees is the same as pi over 2. So at x is equal to 90 degrees, which is also pi over 2. What do we get? Now, if you place in 90 degrees, sine 90 is what? Now, if sine 0 is 0, sine 90 is what now? 1, right? Now, we're going to have y is equal to sine 90 is 1. 1 times 2, we're having what now? 2. So let's now check. When x is 0, what will be the value of y? Okay, for this one, when x is what now? 0, y is 0. Now, what about when x is 90? 90 is what now? Here, right? 90 is 1 over 4 of a circle, okay? Now, when x is what now? 90, what do you get as y? If you trace it to the bottom, it does not touch the curve. If you trace it to the top, it touches the curve, right? Which means what now? It is 2. That means this one satisfies what now? Both condition. Now, how about this one? We're having what now? Y as 90. Okay, if you trace it to the top, does not touch. If you trace it to the bottom, it touches. Now trace it back, you get what now? Minus 2, right? Which means now at this for this graph, we are trying to say that at x is equal to 90 degrees, okay, at x equal to 90 degrees, we are going to have a negative amplitude. Okay, but for this one, we're having a positive amplitude of what now? 2, and this one is what now? Minus 2. So it is obvious, since this one satisfies both conditions for the graph, this one is what now? Good to go. Now, this one would have been correct if we did not trace it and we're getting what now? Minus 2. Okay, now, in fact, what I'm even doing here is a long process. Let me show you the easiest way of picking out the answer. Okay, first things first, when you look at a question like this and you notice that they are asking you to indicate the graph when you are giving what now? A trigonometrical function. Okay, now option D is out of it because this is graph of tangent. This is how it always looks. Okay, it is always what now? Curved like this. Okay, now another thing you need to know, a sine graph must always start from the origin. A sinusoidal graph always start from the what now? The origin. Unlike cosine. Cosine does not pass through the what now? The origin. It will come either from the y positive part or y negative part. Okay. Now, if you look at this graph, it does not pass through the origin, right? But we said a sinusoidal graph, that is a sine graph or a graph of sine, must always pass through the origin. So this one is already what now? Out of it. You can see that we're using different analysis to eliminate some of the options. Now we're not left between these two. Okay. Now, looking at this guy without solving, I can pick A as my answer. Why? Because this guy here is called what now? The amplitude. Amplitude is the maximum point that a wave can reach, right? Now, this wave or this graph we are seeing, the maximum point it can get to is what now? 2. Okay. Now, since the maximum point is 2, and look at this 2 is what now? Positive. Since this 2 is positive, it means the first amplitude we are going to encounter should be what now? Positive. But look at this one. We encountered another amplitude though, but this one is what now? Negative. Assuming there was a minus here, this would have been the answer. Okay, so automatically option A is the answer to this question, even without solving. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't end there. There's always more to learn. That is why you have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel, Dr. Flash. I'll post more updates and longer videos on not just mathematics, English language, as well as your other jam subject combination. Okay, so rush down to YouTube and search for Dr. Flash, subscribe to it, and watch more entertaining videos. I'll help you pass the jam examination. Now you can also register for our online jam and WAEC classes for 2026, where we teach all your subject combination across the arts, social sciences, commercials, and sciences as well. So if you registered for the classes, all you simply have to do is swipe down to my page. Okay, text me on WhatsApp via the phone number you are seeing on my bio, or you can simply click on the link there to reach out to me on WhatsApp. We also have a free WhatsApp channel where we post updates for the jam examination. You might also want to join it. Okay, now if you have any more questions, feel free, drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and follow for more.